Right, okay, so the final part of the t-test series looks at the strangely named one sample t-test, which implies just a single sample. It's not, it's a sample set. So in this case, you are quality control manager for a company producing protein bars. Contain a variety of ingredients which do vary. They should contain 10 grams in each bar, which would be 10%. It makes a fairly large bar, so you may have guessed that I've invented that. After a complaint, local trading standards asked whether this is the case. Analysis is being carried out independently, and the results are here. So in terms of data presentation, we do the usual things. Now, I'm not going to go through them again, apart from looking at how to do a histogram. So we've done our usual stuff on calculating averages, standard deviations. We haven't done a clustered column because it's not really appropriate here. You just get a random set of bars which don't really mean anything. We've done our box and whisker, and as you can see, looking at that, it looks pretty well balanced, doesn't it? What we also want to do is a histogram. Now, histograms are perfectly doable in Excel, but they are a little bit sort of strange about how you do them. Right, so we'll go to data presentation 2 and think about how to do this. Now, one of the things I've done here is I've sorted the data in order. So we know it goes from 8 grams to 13 to about 14. Now, to do a histogram, you need something called a bin range. Now, why it's called a bin range is a bit obscure. A bin range, possibly because they are bins in which you put numbers. So I'm going to start off with 7. That's what I'm going to start off. I'm going to do 8. I'm just going to select them and drag down to 14 or 15, probably 14, I think. Okay, we'll call it 15. Right, there's our bin range. We'll just send to that and just do the usual things we normally do. Right, now that's going to be important when we do our histogram, because we've got to tell Excel which bins to put our numbers in. Right, so as usual, we'll go to our old friend. We go to data analysis, in this case, histogram. Clicking OK. Right, so our input range is going to be what you would expect. Our data range. Our bin range, which we need to tell it how to categorize the data, is what the information we've just put in there. Okay, so I've screwed that up, haven't I? Let's start again. Yeah, do that right way around. And go to the other one and select that. Right, okay, so a couple of things we need to do here. It doesn't have an alpha value because it's not that sort of data, but we do need to set an output range. So I'm just going to put it over here. Click and put it over here. And the other thing we're going to want is a chart. Okay, so click on OK, and it appears. There's our bins and frequencies, and the histogram appears there. Make that a bit bigger. It's got a little legend there, which is not necessary because we've only got one data set, so we can just delete that. And then you format it in the usual way as is described over here. So valid axes, titles, frequencies, chart title, we've given it a label. We've also added data numbers to the various things. And we notice it appears to be reasonably normally distributed, which is quite good. Right, so the one sample t-test. Oh no, what are we going to do? Excel doesn't have a one sample t-test tool. We're in all sorts of trouble. We're not actually, because we can persuade Excel to do it in a slightly skullduggerous way. It works perfectly fine. Now, for some reason, I haven't pasted the actual image in here, so I will do. I'll just pause the video for a second and I'll paste in. Right, so as if by magic, the data from the table appears. Right, so okay, so how we're going to do this. We're going to go to data as usual, data analysis. Okay, so we want a 2-sample test assuming unequal variances. Now, where's the second sample coming from, you might well ask? Well, over here I've added the data for the comparison, and it's just a way of fooling Excel basically. The comparison we want is that each bar should contain 10 grams. So I'll put in data 10 twice, and that will allow us to do this using the 2-sample means, but getting the 1-sample result. Okay, so you may not believe me, but it does work. So variable range 1, again I've already selected this, but I'll select it again. Variable range 2 is just those two numbers there. Our alpha is 0.05. Our output range I'm going to put down here. We click on OK, and everything should appear. Right, so we've already got some information on this. I'm not going to belabor the p-test, the p-value. We can have a look at that yourself. Actually, I think we've already done that. No, I don't. Yeah, okay, yes, you can have a look at that yourself. Look at the p-value and compare it to the alpha value and draw some conclusions based on the hypotheses. Again, there's some sample data, and again, the sample data is all worked out, but obviously you won't have a look at that until you're ready. Okay, we're done.